Sorry I'm late. It's been, I don't know, busy. Things happen and stuff. So I'm sorry about that. But I hope you enjoy what I have to say in the same sort of way. I thought I would do something about something that happened to me this very week. Well, lots of things happened to a lot of people this week, but something happened to me, which was caused by an international event. So I thought I would do something about this sense of powerlessness. And it isn't so much a powerlessness as a general state of being, because that's sometimes very something that we're really familiar with. Hello, Wendy. But it's lovely to see you. But it's powerlessness in front of the enormity of what's happening around us. When we found ourselves in systems that there's nothing we can do about any of this. And there's been a lot of therapy talk over the years about we must get powerful, we must have our power, we must... And it's completely failed to create any sense of powerfulness, particularly amongst women. So I thought I would tell you a story of what happened to me this week. As some of you may know, I had booked a holiday in India for the beginning of April, which happens to be a big birthday for me. And I thought I would celebrate by doing something that I've always wanted to do, which was go and have a trip to India. And I was really looking forward to it. I was a bit worried about it, obviously, it's a long way away. I wasn't going on my own, but still. And I woke up, when was it? It feels like ages ago. I woke up on Saturday morning, it was I think Saturday morning, to hear that a war had erupted between the United States of America and the rest of the world, or something had happened, and the whole of the Middle East was closed to traffic. And my first thought was, I don't care, I'm going anyway. My second thought was, oh, there's nothing I can do about this. Because I'm not flying yet, so I'm going to sit and wait and see what happens. And then I curled myself into a little ball in my mind, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to do nothing and sit and wait. And as I was getting to grip with that, I started feeling that there's absolutely nothing I could do in the circumstances. I felt powerless. So when you feel like that, you can just feel powerless. And I felt myself spiraling into, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't do anything about whatever the American government decides to do, or whatever government. I'm powerless. I can't do anything about anything. I can't. I'm just going to have to wait and see what happens. And then presumably I will feel less powerless. I don't know. So then this is absolutely true. You know, if you've been following me for a while, that I usually use my experiences of the world, because otherwise there's absolutely no good somebody telling you what to do if they haven't experienced it themselves. So I decided I was going to tap on this issue. And there's two sentences I used. I used, even though I feel powerless. And then there's another affirmation sentence that a really good teacher of EFT tapping called Jackie MacDonald, she's Canadian, and she uses the affirmation, contemplation, if you wish. Out of this situation, something good will come. Okay? So we're going to use those two things. I feel powerless, and out of this situation, some good will come. So first of all, we'll tap on I'm feeling powerless. Then we will tap on something out of this situation, something good will come, and then I will tell you what happens next. Okay? I'm just checking. I'm sorry, I'm wobbling now because I don't know. This is a new iPad. So, oh, there we go. Because people keep telling me that I am my voice is too soft or something. When I'm thinking about things, I'm putting my sound up so that people can hear me better. Okay, taking the glasses off. So first thing we're tapping on is, even though I feel powerless right now. And if you are feeling powerless about something that is outside of you and you can't with the best will in the world, just imagine my stories. I can't stop whatever's happening in the Middle East. It was the best, however powerful it might be. Can't do anything about it. So even though I feel powerless about my situation right now, I accept this is where I'm at right now. And even though I don't feel I have any way of controlling the situation, I accept this is where I'm at right now. And even though I feel powerless at I don't know, it was a 20 at that point, I think, forget about 10. Even though I feel powerless at 20, and there's nothing I can do about it, I accept this is where I'm at right now. And as I'm tapping this, I feel the powerlessness transform into fear. Because powerlessness is not a feeling, but fear is. So even though right now I'm feeling frightened, because I have no way of knowing what's going on or what happens next or where to go with this. Now, can you see how, even though this is still a powerless position to be in, I've gone over to being able to think about it in a more coherent manner. So even though I am frightened because I have no control about the situation, I accept this is where I'm at right now. And now, if I go back to the powerlessness, I check in, I'm like about an 8. But the fear is there, the fear is a 10. So when you have two feelings like that, one after the other, even though powerlessness is not exactly a feeling, but fear is a feeling. So we go in with the feeling, I'm frightened right now. Okay? And then start the corner of the eyebrow, there, close to the nose, and say, I'm frightened right now. I'm frightened because I have no control about what is happening in the Middle East. I'm frightened because I might not make it to India. I'm frightened because I might get stuck in India. I'm frightened because my flight could be cancelled. I'm frightened because it's really dangerous to go now. I'm really scared about this situation. I am frightened about this. I'm really quite frightened about this. So, my powerlessness is gone. Now I don't feel powerless. My fear has reduced and has turned into anger. Even though I feel really angry right now. Because, well, I'm in a situation where I have to make decisions on, I don't know, I have no way of knowing what is going to happen in the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And I really wanted to look forward to this trip. I've planned it for a year and it is just so angry making that this choice, this joy, this happiness, this looking forward to it has been taken away from me. Because even though the whole situation resolves itself miraculously in the next 3 weeks, I still will not be looking forward to it because I will be really upset and angry and sad and all the things instead. I accept this is where I'm at right now. Now, if you think about where we are now, so we've been powerless, then we felt frightened, and now we are angry. So the movement of the feelings is what matters, because powerlessness, by definition, is freezing. Because what you do, if you're powerless, you do nothing. But anger is a very good driver. Anger, if you're angry, you can do stuff. As I've said before, revolutions were started by angry people. Things, the guy who stopped the mortality in baby units, in maternity units, got angry because women kept dying, and he worked out why they kept dying, and then the doctors refused to wash their hands, and then he got even more angry, and then eventually his anger won, and women stopped dying in childbirth so much. So that's a really good example of anger is a good driver. So I feel angry. Okay, so we're going to tap on that. I'm feeling angry. Feeling angry because I was looking forward to this. I'm feeling angry because how dare they do that to me? It's all about me, isn't it? I know it isn't, but still. At this precise moment in time, I accept this is all about me. Even though I'm very aware this is nothing to do with me as such. But yet, this is angry making. I'm angry about it. They ruined my holiday. I'm angry. I'm angry. It was my big dream, my big brave thing I was doing. So again, it was my big brave thing I was doing. It was like I don't know, like something like I'm getting the French word, which doesn't help, but it was a dare. That's the one. It was a dare. I dare you to do this, and there I am. I did it. I was booking it. It was going, and now I don't know. Okay. So and as I'm tapping on the anger, obviously, and my system starts to self-regulate, the anger is evaporating, is flowing down. I can feel it. It's like it's draining. So I'm no longer feeling angry right now. Okay. So now, we've gone from powerlessness to fear, to anger. And now we are left, I'm going to put the glasses on. Hello, Sigita. I am now left with the sense of, okay, so what now? Because what I've done is I've taken my system and I have helped it to calm down, which means I'm not reacting anymore, and I've started thinking again. Okay, so my frontal lobes, which were full of feelings and unexpressed anger, powerlessness, fear, has now sort of settled down. Okay, my nervous system has settled down, which is what EFT tapping does best. And now, what's my next thought? What can I do about this? So how do we got from powerlessness to something that we call agency. Agency is in an English word that comes from a Latin verb, which means to do. So, what am I going to do? How am I going to manage this? And this is where the idea of only good can come out of this situation, or if you're not that optimistic, what good can come out of this situation comes along. So we're tapping on. If I have agency, so if there is something I can do, and if good can come out of this situation, I'm interested to find out what that would look like. I'm interested to find out, I'm curious to find out, what would agency and good coming out of a bad situation look like in this instance right now? What sort of agency do I have? What choice do I have? Okay, so then I'm going to start tapping and I'm thinking, okay, what choice do I have? I can just put up with it and spend the entire time worrying myself about what's going on, watching the news endlessly, and then I can go over there, or I can try to get over there, and then my flight's cancelled or not cancelled, and I am over there, and as I'm doing it, I'm tapping and I'm thinking, what can I do? And then the obvious is this actually really happened. It is not happening right now. I'm just acting it out for you. But then what happened is I thought, or I could cancel. And then immediately my whole system calmed down. I could use my agency, my power of choice and cancel. And just decide, not just decide, it's a very big decision, decide it isn't worth the hassle to go. And then there's another lot of feeling come up, sadness, anger, and all the things. But what mattered is once I had decided that it was an option not to go and to cancel, all my worries and my anxiety and my panic and everything just went, oh, okay, right. So I have options. I don't have to feel powerless. There is something I can do about it. I can cancel, I can postpone. And then voice in my head went, well, yes, but what about the money? And I swear at this precise moment in time right now, and since then, I don't actually care, whatever. And that for me is agency. The difference between powerlessness and agency, as in, what am I going to do about this? Now, agency has been very much written, it was written about a lot during the Nazi period, where there was this whole research afterwards about why did some people survive the concentration camps. And some people were lucky or, but quite a few of the people who wrote about it afterwards said that they chose to imagine another world, do other things, focus on writing. And if you want to look it up, you look it up, you will find out that even though horrible things were happening, these people to whom the things were happening, nobody is denying anything, found it more possible to survive. It was still as horrible, but they found it more possible to survive because they decided they had a choice. They had agency. Even though they were completely powerless, they couldn't do this or that or the other, they still found something that they had a choice about. Now, I hope this is not too metaphysical, but it actually really happened to me this week. And it got me to really thinking about, we are in the context of the greater world, the world around us, the Western world, our civilization. We are in the context of a world in which we are entirely powerless. We are watching things happen that we know fundamentally are wrong, that nobody has voted for, and yet they keep happening. And people say we are feeling powerless to do anything about it. And yes, they are. But what I'm inviting people to do in the context of EFT for Hope is we have to go through the powerlessness, work out the feelings hiding behind the powerlessness, so that we reach the point where we are soothing our nervous system and we start thinking about what choices do we have. Because I have a choice. I could have decided to hang on in there and anxiously look at the news and whatever, and I chose that that wasn't the right thing for me. Other people will decide to do other things, it doesn't matter. What matters is the idea that you have a choice. You can use this idea and this tapping along sequence for anything really that you feel powerless about. However hard it is, to see whether you can kind of climb out of the powerlessness, tap into your actual feelings about the situation, work through them, and at the end, hopefully, get to this idea what good can come out of this. And for me, the good is this idea that I have the ability to say, no, I'm not doing it. And that feels really, really important to me. It will not feel really important to any amount of people who probably think I'm being silly. But that's fine, I don't care. Because for me, it works. For me, it worked. So I hope you find this useful and relevant. I would like, as usual, I'm saying, do you find this useful? How did it work for you? It would be good to know. And are there any topics you would like me to talk about? Because, of course, I don't know where you're at, who you are sometimes, and what would be useful. But when we remember that this is a group called EFT for Hope, currently we have to find hope where we can. And I felt hopeful, which is odd, because I should feel devastated because I am not going to India. And yet my decision has made me feel hopeful because there's an answer to my quest to fight powerlessness, to fight this acceptance of what's happening in the world with people saying, oh, there's nothing I can do about it. Because there are things we can do. We just need to inquire and find out what they are. Okay, I'll just go away now. Sorry I was late, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for coming, and thank you for watching, the people who are going to watch the replay. So much love.